All right, everybody, we're going to open the meeting. Can we please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. Good evening, and welcome to the June 2nd, 2025 meeting of the Zoning Board of Appeals, or ZBA. First, let me introduce the members of the ZBA present here this evening. Myself, Chairman Alan Donnelly. Our Vice Chairman, Mr. Carl Hinger, is with us this evening. Our Secretary, Mr. Elijah Hewling, is with us. Regular Member Commissioner, Mr. Larry Rushmeyer, is with us. Alternate Member Commissioner, Mr. Liam Ania, is with us. Regular Member Commissioner, Mr. Richard Briggs, is with us. And Alternate Member Commissioner, Mr. Michael Barnes, is with us. Our excellent zoning enforcement officer, Mr. Fran Lally, is with us, and I think perfect again, our absolutely wonderful recording secretary, Ms. Cassandra Varian, is with us. The current agenda can be found here at the table or on the town website under board meetings. When we begin the public hearing, I will call each applicant one at a time. When I call the property address, please come forward, state your name and address for the record, and tell us about your appeal in detail. After, the secretary will read into the record any communications we received in favor or opposed to the application. The chair will then entertain questions of clarification for board members concerning the application. We will then hear from those who wish to speak in favor of the application, followed by those who are opposed. Following each side of the question, the applicant will be allowed to make concluding remarks. After we've gone through all the cases on the agenda tonight, we will close the public portion of the meeting and will deliberate an open executive session. You must have at least 4 affirmative votes to have your appeal granted. The final decision may be in the form of approved as submitted, approved with stipulations, or disapproved. All questions and comments must be directed through the chair. Please be assured that everyone will be given the opportunity to speak. However, the board is most interested in hearing factual information relative to the application, and in view of time constraints placed upon us, we ask your indulgence in not reiterating comments previously presented. You are welcome to stay until the end of the meeting or contact the land use office in the morning. Thank you. All right. First thing on the agenda is seating of alternates. Commissioner Barnes, would you please be on Z-25-22, sir?
Yes.
Okay, I appreciate it. And that is 42 Berkshire Drive. That's the end of that, right? Okay. Review of minutes. I'd like to take a motion to approve the May 5th, 2025 minutes, please.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay. Is there any discussion? Very, very little again.
I'm just going to be abstaining from the vote itself since I wasn't here.
Okay. You were here last time. You want to be on this? Okay. Commissioner Nia is going to be on this. Do you have any questions, comments, anything?
No.
All right. Nobody have anything? I think they're absolutely perfect. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All right. Review of correspondence. It's other boards and commissions, zoning, inland wetlands, and planning. Does anybody have any discussion or anything? Any discussion on that? All right. Moving on. Our first continued public hearing is 20A Indian Trail. That is Z-25-ACE. Jason Klein of Comedy Law for the Matthew and Deborah Wilcoff residence, and this is an appeal of a cease and desist order. Mr. Secretary, I believe we have correspondence, sir.
We do. This is the Brookfield Zoning Board of Appeals, CO Francis W. Lowry, Zoning Enforcement Officer, regarding continuation of public hearing 20A Indian Trail, Brookfield, Connecticut, appeal of cease and desist order. Dear Mr. Lally and members of the Brookfield Zoning Board of Appeals, parentheses, the ZBA, I'm writing to you to confirm that my client, the owners of the property, consent to the continuation and extension of the public hearing regarding Z-25-A to Monday, July 4th, 2025. As such, it is my understanding that no testimony or substantive discussion will take place on June 2nd, and instead the hearing will be immediately continued to the ZBA's next meeting on Monday, July 14th, 2025. I kindly ask that the ZBA Chair and/or the zoning enforcement officer announce this continuation at your June 2 meeting, and that this announcement include the time and location of the July 14th meeting. Thank you for your time and attention regarding this matter. Sincerely, Jason A. Klein.
All right, at this time, I'd like to take a motion to continue Z-20.
Oh,
Sarah, you don't
Stephanie
have-
Cummings from Carmody, Torrance, and Tennessee, on behalf of Jay Klein, just here to make sure it gets continued.
Thank you, ma'am. All right, I'd like to take a motion to continue 28 Indian Trail Z-25-8 until our next scheduled meeting, which is July 14th, 2025, right here at 7 PM at Town Hall. Can I'd like to have a motion, please?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. You are continued, ma'am.
Thank you very much.
All right. Moving on to our next continued public hearing, and that is 42 Berkshire Drive, Z-25-22, Gordon Hallis for Ann and Ryan Lansing residents. This is a request for variance 3.5, and I'm going to read it here. 6-foot structure to the front lot line. The required dimensions is 20 feet. Proposed dimension is 4 feet 5 inches. Variance request is 15 foot 7 inches, and that is zoning regulation 3.5. Is the applicant or proponent of the applicant here? Please come forward, state your name and address for the record, and tell us about your appeal in detail, sir. Welcome back.
How are you?
Good. How are you, sir?
Good. Gordon Hallis, Hallis Construction, 41-5 Delmar Drive, Brookfield.
Welcome to the zoning board of appeals again, sir.
Thank you. I think the board last asked for some clarification on building height and where the building actually sat at the moment. So I have an updated CCA survey from CCA, who just gave me at 4:30 today. So I'd like to hand that out to you
Yes, sir.
folks, so you guys can see what's going on here.
Thank you, sir.
So this is up to date as of, like I said today. The building height is actually stated over here on the right side of the document, towards the bottom.
19.4, sir.
Correct. So it's within the variance that we, or it's within the height of what's required for the zoning. And there was also a question on what the original variance from when Chad did the variance back 3 years ago. So I think you guys should have had it updated.
We are.
Okay. So, when we built the building, started the structure back in November of 2024, we actually built the building a foot shy of the variance, allowed variance. So we're not actually, what Chad got approved prior, we're actually a little bit short of that. And if you look at the map, on the previous map we submitted the last meeting, it had what we proposed on there as far as the size of the footprint. And I think there was a question on how far out do we need to go. We asked for 6 feet. But I don't think we need, if we don't need 6 feet, do we still apply for 6 feet, or do we apply for 5 foot
And Mr. Lally would be the perfect.
I'm confused on the question. Without looking at having a plan.
They were asking for 6 feet in the prior, and it looks like you need, is this correct, sir, 5'6"?
Yes.
Was it approved for 6 foot?
No,
That's
His
what he
request
said.
is 6 foot.
Requested.
we requested 6 feet.
He wants to know if he has to have, can he go 5'6"?
Oh,
Or should he go for
Yeah,
6
we
feet?
can go- you can go down, you
go
can't
less,
go up.
you can't go up, yeah.
Okay.
So
No,
go
it's
for
good
more.
now.
Well, so that would be the only change from last meeting to this meeting, is we realized the structure's actually a foot behind
Behind it.
the original variance. So that's what we're requesting, and I did share pictures of the building and what we propose to do to the building last time. And there is a architectural plan as well in the file for that. So if there's any questions you may have. It's only a 1-story, just in front of the garage, 6 feet out. I believe it's 16 feet wide or 17 feet wide. So what we're trying to do, if some of you were not here last meeting, we're trying to be able to fit a car in there, because they have some complications on their current driveway, especially in the wintertime. We've had some bad situations coming down the driveway.
Thank you.
So if there's any questions?
Absolutely. Okay. At this time, I'd like to ask, do we have any correspondence in record?
We do. First one is from Chad Nearing. Dear Chairman Donnelly and members of the Brookfield ZBA, my name is Chad Nearing and I reside to the immediate south of the garage/cabana being built at 42 Berkshire Drive at 17 Longview Drive. I oppose the variance for the additional 6 feet off the front of the structure located on Longview Drive. I do understand that their driveway on Berkshire is not optimal in the winter. However, when I supported the original variance in 2018, the variance hardship was based on the safety issues of their main driveway. Unfortunately, the project was not built properly and issues have since arose. They cannot fit a car in the garage, but this should have been the paramount concern since this was indeed the hardship behind the variance, and this was the goal that they wanted to accomplish when they went for the variance in 2018. Yet that goal has been ignored. My concerns with 42 Berkshire. 1, it appears that the cabana floor height is much greater than the 4 feet depicted on sheet A2 of the permit drawings and on sheet A4 revised February 19, 2025. I think it's closer to 2 inches, which then creates a building height issue. The 19.6 called out on the drawings probably is not accurate. It also references a gable that was not built. The building is more than likely non-conforming to building height. I did flag this to the owner in an email on November 3rd, 2024, after the foundation was poured, but no framing had begun. I also would like to point out that the average existing grade should have been confirmed by this time, since these subsequent variances began in January of 2025. The additional 6 feet to the front of the structure will block some needed sight lines for the neighbors to the north and the south when exiting their driveways safely. The additional 6 feet will also reduce the parking area in front of the garage to the curb. This part of Longview is already congested, with some abutting neighbors only having a pull-off and not off-street parking. 4, the building is already aggressively oversized. The variance which was approved is not what has been built, and the new design is much bulkier and has a greater volume, parentheses, and likely taller than approved/allowed. This structure is supposed to be an accessory structure, but is as large or larger than the neighboring properties prior to the roof deck railings being installed. This appears, 5, this appears to be a self-inflicted hardship. The pool could have been drained, and the proper amount of ledge could have been removed, and a garage could have been built, which would have allowed for cars to park in the garage. Just because the builder built something that can't fit a car doesn't deem it a quote hardship. The ledge could also have been removed so that the garage elevation would have made the building height conform. 6. This project began in or around December of 2023, and the extremely long construction time frame has taken a toll on all of the immediate neighbors, and we would all appreciate this project being completed in a timely fashion. This project has simply just taken way too long. Thank you for considering my comments on this application. Sincerely, Chad Nearing, 17 Longview Drive, dated June 2nd, 2025. Another one, this is from Kathy Court to Fran Lally and Amy Curran. Subject, new garage construction, 42 Berkshire Drive. Good afternoon, Fran and Amy. I'm writing to share some information regarding the new garage that is being constructed on the underutilized area behind 42 Berkshire Drive that borders Longview Drive in Candlewood Shores. This new garage will reduce the risks associated with navigating the steep driveway on Berkshire Drive, especially during inclement weather for the owners. The extremely steep driveway coupled with icy conditions makes it very hazardous. Should you have any questions or concerns, please feel free to reach out. Sincerely, Kathleen Court, 46 Berkshire Drive, Brookfield, Connecticut. I think those are the only ones for that.
Thank you. You will get a chance to respond, sir. I promise. At this time, I'd like to ask if there's any questions the commissioner
Yeah, my
has.
question was just on the amount of the variance. Is on the paperwork, should that be the total amount of variance, including the one that was previously approved on the paperwork that's submitted now?
That
Or
was
is
a
this,
question I had.
this
I was
is
gonna
a
ask Brian.
6 foot plus what was approved before, which is okay. I just would like to see the paperwork, make sure the paperwork's filled out correctly.
Yeah, Mr.
Well,
Lally,
I-
October 11th, 2019 one had a variance approved at 15.7 under 3.5.
My question is,
So it'd be
the proposed
15.7
dimension
plus the 6
12
feet or
inches, it's
5.5
1
feet.
foot.
Yeah,
The previous variance was 15 foot something. Now this is 6
15.7.
feet.
6 feet.
So I think he's asking for a 19-foot total variance. So what should be on the paperwork? That's
No,
my
more
question.
more than 19.
19
Yeah, you're
Well,
at 15.7 plus,
plus
Let's
6.
yeah. Or he's just asking for the additional because the other one's already
It's
approved.
additional, yeah.
So it would
Because
just
those
be
ones have been approved.
either a 6 foot
Okay,
or a
so I just
5.5
wanna make sure
foot.
it's
Oh, yeah,
spelled out
no,
right.
yep, that's right.
So it would
Yes, okay.
be either a 6 foot or a 5.5 foot, right?
Yeah.
That was
yeah.
my only question.
Thank you, sir. Does that make sense to you?
No, so do I have to redo the paperwork?
No,
No,
I'm saying you
no,
don't.
no, fine.
That's, I wanted to
You've been
make sure
approved.
that was not the case.
You've
No,
been
that's
approved,
fine, because that's fine.
you've already been approved
Go
for the
ahead.
first variance.
Yeah, that's right, but,
So this is an
Right.
additional variance for 6 feet.
Correct.
yep,
Or 5.5?
5.6.
Go for the 6.
Yes, sir. Okay. Any other commissioners have any questions of the applicant?
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Commissioner
How
Richmond.
soon are you gonna finish this?
As soon as we don't have to come here. Really, I mean, it's been,
You're stirring
you
up the
know,
bee's nest in the neighborhood, so.
Well, we've been trying to, initially, as you know, we hit that ledge. And we were advised by 2 different blast guys not to blast to try to get where we need to be. Because of the closeness of the homes and the pool and all that kind of. We could have trained the pool, sure, no problem. Problem is the blasting and all that. I did have a driller there, and we drilled as far as we could without, compromising anything along the sides as well. The building is actually smaller than what was on the plan. It's like a,
Not my problem, that's a building inspection.
right,
If you,
so,
will have you tear the top off.
well, I know, I'm just saying, I'm just talking about the width and depth is smaller. But that's Chad's, fight with everybody, so,
Finish it.
I'd
Make it
love to
nice.
finish it, believe me.
Thank you, Mr. House. I think you've pretty much answered everything. So the variance that you requested, I mean, it's 6 feet is what you said before, but you said 5.5 feet is okay?
Correct.
Would you be okay if we stipulated it, I don't know what everybody's gonna do, at 5'6" rather than 6 feet?
Sure.
You'd be
Yeah.
okay with that, sir?
Yeah.
Okay. And last time we were in here, you kind of went over all the hardships. I mean, the ledge is the biggest, right?
Correct.
And safety, stuff like that.
Right.
Okay. Thank you. Anybody else have any questions? Any questions? Okay. Would you like to respond to any of the correspondence at all, sir? That's okay.
I think we've gone through it for the most part. I mean, you know, we're trying to, I've been very good to neighbors. We've been trying to work everybody out, you know, so it's just been, I did take pictures so that sightline is not a concern, that kind of stuff. I live in Brookfield too, so I care about these things and I care about what the building looks like. So I try to do my best for everybody all around. That's all I can say.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay. At this time, I'd like to ask if there's anyone here that would like to speak in favor of the application. Hearing none. Oh,
Okay,
yes,
so
sir.
I'm the homeowner, I didn't know if there's any additional questions, I'm here to talk about the hardships and
You
also.
can
the
absolutely
various-
speak in favor, sir.
Yeah,
Please-
so I've
Please
obviously,
come forward, state your name and address for the record.
Ryan Lansing, 42 Berkshire. Obviously, there's nobody who's more invested to get this project done than us. We understand, you know, to the point of why it took so long is the additional, we tried to get the additional space, the ledge, it took us longer to try and attempt, so we did put, attempted to, you know, create that additional space so we wouldn't have to go to the variance. Once that failed, that's when we approached the variance. So we are proceeding forward to try to complete this project. We didn't stop construction, we will continue. So again, it's our goal to finish this project as soon as possible. We want to do it safe as, you know, for all our neighbors. You know, we have gone out to at least 21 different neighbors each time we ask for this variance. We understand Chad's concern. He did highlight a couple really good points about his sightlines. I think that was the biggest concern that he highlighted properly. You know, Gordon did take the pictures to show that the sightline wasn't going to be impacted. In terms of the scope of the size of the building, it is smaller than the original variance. And again, you know, to the point earlier in the last meeting is, you know, obviously we won't get the CO of the height variance, and as you see with the CCA, that's obviously a big focus point. So again, we understand the hardships of our neighbors, but also understanding is the variance is only looking for that 6 feet additional to fit the car. Otherwise, you know, we would still use it as a, you know, a parking area because of the risk of going down the driveway. But, you know, what we want to do is, you know, in a safe condition, have the ability to have a car in the climate weathers, especially with our little kids. And again, you know, we respect Chad's opinion. We understand, you know, his opinion in terms of the construction. We're close to be finishing, but it, you know, we are only looking, the variance is only looking to solve this one problem. It's not to look to get extra space for anything. It only solves one problem, it's to fit a car. We're not looking for any other, you know, usage. It's either we're gonna be able to fit a car, or we're not gonna be able to fit a car, and that's why we're approaching this for the last several days.
Thank you, Mr. Lansing, thank you.
Appreciate the time.
Thank you, sir. At this time, I'd like to ask if there's anyone else that would like to speak in favor of this application. Hearing none. At this time, I'd like to ask if there's anyone here that would like to speak in opposition to this application. Hearing none. Sir, you have the final concluding remarks, either one of you. You have the final concluding remarks.
No, I appreciate it if this was approved, so we can just continue on and finish it and make it safe for them. Obviously, it hasn't been a expedient process, so we're trying to figure out when to finish, how we can finish, whether we're doing this or not. So most of the building on the outside is finished, but trying to get this resolved. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much, Mr. Hollis. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, at this time, I'd like to take a motion to close the public hearing on 42 Berkshire Drive, Z-25-22, please.
Move.
Do I have a second?
Second?
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right. Moving on. Our new public hearing is 26A Brookfield Meadows. That is Z-25-27. Let me get it in front of me. And I won't say the name wrong, I promise. Jamie Correa of Hat City Pools for Mark and Stephanie Sikora. Request for variance 3.9 Bravo. And the variance requested is just for a front yard, a pool in the front yard. So, could the applicant or proponent of the applicant please come forward, state your name and address for the record? Tell us about your appeal in detail, sir.
Jamie Craig from Hat City Pools for Mark Sikora on 26A. Brookfield Meadows, sorry.
Welcome to the zoning board of appeals, sir.
Thank you, sir. He's in an interior lot, so, interior lot, so we need a front setback variance, because that is the only spot he could put an in-ground pool.
Okay, that's quick.
That's, that's it. Because, Fran had told me, because it's the interior lot, the front of the house actually faces a shared driveway. So we thought the pool was on the side lot, but since it's the interior, it's the front, but it's 205 feet from his neighbor, which is off Brookfield Meadows. His technical side lot, I guess, is cliff ledge, back to the ledge. But plus you don't have the setback. His rear lot is a driveway, and the other side lot is the front of his house, as you can see from the map that everybody has.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
I don't know if you want to, thought I gave him a large scale, if you want to look at a large scale.
I have this one.
Oh, okay.
It's pretty big.
Yeah. Right in my package.
Would you like to, yeah, would you like to say anything, sir?
No, the other than, as Jamie said, my name is Mark Sikora. I am the homeowner at 26A Brookfield Meadows.
Welcome to the zoning board of appeals, Mrs. Sikora.
Thank you, sir. Basically, the house is simply misoriented. As it is towards Brookfield Meadows, the builder saw fit to face our house towards the shared driveway, which makes sense when you see the three houses and all of our homes that face the shared driveway together. So that is essentially it. We have only the one spot to be able to put the pool, and, here they are. I have them here. Look at that.
The whole application again, too, so, but I think everybody just needs a map on the back page.
I'm gonna stick with it.
Yeah, no, please.
Because I already put my notes on
Just
it.
fine, yeah.
You are the largest. And there are also photos in that packet as well. I printed out some photos if you need the reference. But yeah, essentially the only place that we figured we could conceivably put a pool would be on the front yard. From the legal perspective, it's the front yard. From the functional perspective, is our side and back yard. So,
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. At this time, so any correspondence we can read it directly, Mr. Secretary. I believe we have some correspondence.
Zoning Board of Appeals, received May 30th, 2025, to whom it may concern. We have been next door neighbors in our little three-house community with Mark and Stephanie Sikora for 10 years since they moved in. They have become friends as well as neighbors, and we look forward to them getting a pool installed. This will enhance their property and will be something all of the neighbors look forward to enjoying together. We fully support their request for a variance to install a pool in their yard. Signed, Jean Brunette, 24A Brookfield Meadows. This one is May 17th, 2025, Zoning Board of Appeals regarding application for variance filed by Mark and Stephanie Sikora for a property location at 26A Brookfield Meadows. Dear members of the Zoning Board of Appeals, as neighbors of Mark and Stephanie Sikora, we are writing to express our support for the variance request regarding the placement of their swimming pool at 26A Brookfield Meadows, Brookfield, Connecticut. We believe the proposed location of the pool, situated on the side and rear of their property, aligns with the character of the neighborhood and is a reasonable exception to the zoning regulation. Given the unique layout of their property, where what is technically defined as the full front yard functions more as a side yard, we find this variance to be a fair and logical adjustment. The placement of the pool in the rear and side sections of their property ensures it remains in harmony with the surrounding area and does not adversely affect the neighborhood. We fully support their request and kindly urge the zoning board of appeals to grant this variance. Thank you for your time and consideration, Daniel and Tanya Silva. It's 22 Brookfield Meadows. And third correspondence dated May 21st, 2025. Subject response to pool notification for 26A Brookfield Meadows. 2 Brookfield Zoning Board of Appeals. Thank you for your notification regarding the pool installation at 26A Brookfield Meadows. We are writing to formally state we are in favor of the variance for the proposed pool as submitted by Mark and Stephanie Sikora. We wish them many happy sunny days of swimming. Best regards, Lisa Pomeroy, 234 Whiskey Mill Road, Brookfield, Tennessee.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary.
Not this year, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
At this time, I'd like to ask my fellow commissioners if you have any questions at all of the applicant.
No.
I have a couple.
Where's the septic?
That's one of mine.
Yes, so the septic was actually in the side yard. It was moved. We had a discussion with the pool contractor. We called in Brookfield Septic. We worked with Paul, and it was moved forward. So right now,
Towards the access.
If you look at the larger
towards the,
plan,
yeah, it's actually on the plan. The as-bills are essentially on.
And so where's the reserve field?
The reserve field is,
If that septic system fails,
Mhm.
there needs to be a designated reserve area.
there, I believe it is beyond, it actually, where did he put it? I do not know, and I don't know that that is on the plans, is
it's
it?
not on the plan,
I
but
think it's on the as-built that he was refining with Paul, because Paul had said that there is, I don't want to misspeak, he said that there is actually room for a reserve field, and you can actually redig, because of the size of the side yard, he's able to actually have a reserve field.
Front yard.
Yeah, correct, in the front, sorry.
it still looks like a side.
Yeah. Sorry, in my mind, it's always the side.
Yeah.
Well, I think you should sell pool dues, because there's a lot of people who want to swim in that pool.
Yeah, we think it's gonna be popular.
Any questions?
So no one else could put one because of the whole.
Yeah,
front
but the
side
whole area is,
setback.
Commissioner O'Meara, any questions?
I think it's relatively straightforward. It's a specific variance that specifically has to do with the placement of a pool. It's not like a typical setback, so nothing that jumped out at me. I didn't understand initially why that was the side yard, and then you explained that it's the interior lot.
Yeah.
It makes sense now.
Well, it's almost a naming problem. If that shared driveway was named part of the street, then you have
Exactly.
a question because
Because if you look at the front of the house, yes, the pool is right to the side, yeah.
Yeah, I was confused when I first
Yeah.
opened the application. I said, well, wait a minute, it's the side.
Yeah.
Oh, no, that's a driveway. Over here in the corner is the actual road. Okay.
I was confused too until I got the call, yeah.
Any questions?
I would assume, by the way, that in terms of the septic reserve, that would be part of the building permit. Wouldn't that be,
Yeah, I mean, they'll submit applications.
Yes.
Right, we're going for Mr. Avery, right?
Yeah. Of course, I believe it's already been submitted.
That's already
It's
been
in
submitted,
the-
I think he approved it.
Yeah, so.
I did have one question on that, but I'll wait for everybody else. Mr. Segura, thank you very much for allowing me to go out the property, sir. Do you mind if I pull it up on a GIS?
Please,
All
absolutely.
right, let's pull it up, let's look at it. And I drew a little map, so when I asked you
Yeah,
to take a peek at it,
Absolutely.
it's pretty accurate.
that's why I'm here.
Is that you?
That is.
All right, great. Can you come forward for a second, sir? All right, so as I look at, here's the proposed pool right here. And this is the rear of the house, technically the rear of the house. So as I look at it, I mean, it's pretty heavy, but there's a lot of ledge back up in this area here. And from this edge of the house up, it's about roughly 45-degree angle. It's pretty steep right there. This one's a little bit less, but it's about a 30-degree angle. All right, one of my questions was, and I did speak to Mr. Avery, and he wasn't 100% sure. I know the minimum distance is 25 feet on the septic.
Correct.
He thought you guys were 25, 26, 27, he didn't really.
I think we're going with about
You know that-
26.
So that would he said he should try to be 26, 27, which we could be whatever we need.
Yeah.
You know what you are, sir?
Depending what you guys tell me.
No.
Oh, on the plan, I think it was about 26 or 27. He said,
Yeah, I
just
think
make
so.
sure you're over, and I always give myself a little buffer.
26 or 27. Okay, that was one of the
Because
questions.
it's marked out, they had just moved the septic, so there's still stakes,
Yeah,
so
we
I
still
have an
have
accurate
two stakes where
measurement,
the tank actually is underground, so
Okay.
we're using those as the marker.
All right, I'm just showing on the mouse with the GIS. So here's your long driveway right off of Brookfield Meadows. Kind of looks a little like in Oklahoma. It comes straight up, it's a common drive, and then the pool is somewhere around where I got this thing.
Yeah.
Roughly.
Ish,
Yep.
something
Yep.
like
Yep,
that.
exactly.
And then your septic is over there.
Correct.
Where the field's coming this way.
Correct.
And then you were gonna have, what, a reserve, like back over here,
Correct.
if you had to have a reserve?
Yep.
Does that answer your question, Commissioner Esmeyer?
Yeah.
Because, yeah, they didn't go over that
Yeah.
stuff with me. Okay. So, you obviously have a unique shape of property, so the ledge, the topography, I think. Oh, the last question I had, would you be opposed, I don't know what everybody's gonna do, but would you be opposed to some screening on the common driveway side of the
Of course
pool?
not.
You know, some evergreens or
Oh,
something.
yeah, no, we actually plan
Commissioner
on,
Esmeyer's the expert on that, not me.
yeah,
Be careful what you plant over the septic system.
yes. That,
So it would have to be out closer to the driveway, like way out there?
Yeah, then you're gonna lose all the height because the pool is up high.
Yeah, and actually, as you approach the septic is the last barrier before about a 35-degree angle down, maybe 6 feet in height down towards the shared drive. So we were actually planning on putting screening more towards the pool side.
Like against the fence of the pool?
Correct, probably, 3 minis, something
You're
like
putting
that
the
to screen.
ADA fence in, it's 54 inches, it's got the
Yep.
child locks
Yep.
on it and stuff?
Yeah, and then we were actually gonna screen that fencing in. So
Okay.
that would all be screened.
That answers that question. Thank you, sir.
It'll probably still be 10, 15 feet away from the fields.
Yeah.
Whatever they do plan.
If you did arborvitae, it's a non-invasive root
Yeah.
system,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah, that's actually what we're planning on putting that in, because we also will butt that piece of property to, to our east, whoever that was, tore down a whole bunch of trees back there that we were a little sad to see go. But we're gonna be planting arborvitae over there to screen from them, and then we're gonna be putting arborvitae against the fence when that goes up, so.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, Mr. Crowe. Any further questions from the commissioners? Any further questions? Okay, at this time, I'd like to ask if there's anyone here that would like to speak in favor of the application.
More than us.
We know you're in favor. Hearing none, at this time, I'd like to ask if there's anyone that would like to speak in opposition to this application. Hearing none. Sir, both of you have the final concluding remarks if you'd like. Anything you'd like to say at all?
I mean, in my case, or in my opinion, it's, hardship. I've always been told for a variance, you wanna prove a hardship. This is the only spot that they could put a pool in. It really is. I mean, did you see it? Somebody saw it? Yeah, I mean,
Went out to the property, sir.
It is.
I think a bunch of us did.
it's a cliff going up to the side, I guess, right? The side, that's the only spot that they can put a pool. They have this huge side yard, I call it, the huge front yard, and that's all they have.
Thank you very much, sir. All right, at this time, I'd like to take a motion to close the public hearing on 26A Brookfield Meadows, that is Z-25-27, please.
So moved?
Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. All right, so what we're gonna do now is we're gonna go into, I'll explain it, it's closed deliberations. Basically speak about the application amongst ourselves. We'll come to a decision more than likely tonight. You're welcome to stay, or you can contact the land use office in the morning. All right? Just ask everybody to chime in and talk. Thank you very much. All right, so our first deliberations is on 42 Berkshire Drive, Z-25-22. I'm gonna read the whole thing here. That is Gordon Hallis for Ann and Ryan Lansing residents, request for variance 3.5, 6-foot structure to the front lot line. I'd like to take a motion to approve as submitted, please. Yes, and you are on this.
Yes. I'm recused from
You're a
this.
second? Okay, I have a second. Discussion. 42 Berkshire.
I think Mr. Atlas has filled us in on everything except how many nails are in the building.
Would you like to request that?
So, I've heard everything.
Yes, sir.
Look, I think it makes practical sense to complete it as is planned, and given the previous variance.
Would you be okay at the 5.5 feet versus 6? Because that's what you really need to,
I mean,
or either way.
yeah, it's a minor
It's 6.
difference, but, sure, I mean, it's gonna be 5, 6, it sounds like. But, and if that makes it a little bit better, I guess we could specify that.
And you're okay with 6 foot?
Yeah.
That's this. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, I'm okay with 6 foot.
Mr. Secretary.
Same.
Commissioner Richmond.
Same.
I would have to say I concur with everybody.
Let's vote.
Are we ready to vote? Now, what I saw for, let's go over the hardships. Ledge,
Same hardship
ledge,
as-
topography,
Yeah.
Safety.
Topography, safety.
ledge, topography, safety. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let me read it out. All right, all those in favor of approving application Z-25-22, applicant agent's House Associates LLC, and that is landowner of record Ann and Ryan Lansing, 42 Berkshire Drive. Required dimension is 20 feet, proposed dimension is 12 feet, variance requested is 6 feet, and that is regulation 3.5. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say nay. The motion passes unanimously. Congratulations, sir.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations, sir. All right. Moving on. And Vice Chairman's got this, right? Okay. All right, we're moving on to our last application, and that is 26A Brookfield Meadows, Z-25-27. Let me get it in front of me. Oops, sorry. All right. That is the Mark and Stephanie Sikora residence, 26A Brookfield Meadows, and this is for a pool in the front yard. I'll read it. Required dimension 40 feet, proposed dimension 205. Variance requested is front yard, and that is 3.9-B. I'd like to take a motion to approve as submitted, please.
So,
You choose. Discussion. Discussion.
It's pretty simple.
yeah.
There's nothing else about it.
There's unique shape of property, topography, ledge.
Correct.
That's, Commissioner Rushmeyer?
Yep, we're good.
And the fact that it's practically speaking a side yard.
There's no way they're getting in that back of the house there. Not with the slope and the ledge there.
Interior lot, unique shape of property.
I concur with everybody. Everybody ready to vote?
Yes, sir.
Ready to vote? All right. All those in favor of approving application Z-25-27, that is the Mark and Stephanie Sikora residence, 26A Brookfield Meadow. And that is for a required dimension 40 feet, proposed dimension 205 feet. Variance requested is for a pool in the front yard, and that is regulation 3.9-B. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say nay. Congratulations, sir, that's unanimous. Thank you very much. Have a very good evening.
Thank you.
Yes,
So
too.
we should stipulate that the whole commission gets to use the pool.
Starting with Commissioner Rushmeyer.
Thank you all so much.
Thank you, sir. Have a good evening. Thank you very much.
You need one of those bullet ticket things.
Have a good evening, sir.
Get into the pool.
Thank you very much.
Have a good evening. All right, moving on. Old business, there is none. New business, there's none. Table item, draft fee schedule discussion.
So do we wanna just up the fees finally?
Everybody got my email, right?
Like, instead of running
Kind of
round and round in
understand?
circles?
And then wait until the other commissions get aboard and possibly we can have some savings, which obviously we can.
Yeah,
We have a negotiation tool, but at least bring them to par so we're not losing money. How do you feel, Commissioner Rushmeyer?
I think we should raise the pool.
Isn't it? You thinking that Well, let's pull out the other one. I mean, we know what it is. It's $300 per application right from the get-go, right?
Right, so.
Hold on, I have the old one in front of me. Oh, where's Fran when we need him? I have the old one and I have the new one, you know, the proposed one, I think. That's about it, we got this one. Right, here is is this our old one?
No, it's the new one. This is the proposed, and this is the.
Yeah, okay. So here's current and here's proposed. I mean, I'm comfortable, obviously, where you got the state of Connecticut fees, we won't count that. But I'm comfortable, where are they at on there? Jeez, they might be low. Right? Even on their proposal, well, look, they're at $250. You can't really include the state of Connecticut one.
So you're saying they should be higher than the proposed?
No, I hate to say it, it's right now we're paying $100, right, per legal notice. And there's 2 before and 1 after, so it's $300 right there.
So we could keep the bottom 3 the same costs, but increase the top recommendation from
It's
250
gotta go to
to
3.
300.
Right? Is everybody okay with that?
Can you go over that again?
So we already, here, just show that.
So here's what
proposing.
land use gave us. And we're
Right.
saying instead we should raise this
Where's the
from
other
250 to 300
And
so
so-
that it covers the cost of.
Right.
Here's our old ones.
Well, this says 100, so.
Well, I was doing, okay, what they were bumping it up
Yeah,
before.
that's-
I don't
that's
think-
just his-
That's not enough, that's my chicken scratch.
Right, okay.
So here's our old ones now.
Right.
So basically, this is, every time we've been doing it, it's been costing us $150 on this one right here, because it's,
So 300 would be just a break-in, but
that's
even-
break even.
Right.
Well,
Yeah.
Right.
So we,
Yeah, and I mean, this could go to 3, you don't have to go up to the high ones until it's time to negotiate, but we don't wanna lose money.
Right.
right.
That doesn't make any sense.
Mm-hmm.
So-
Or make it 350.
Well, what do you, this one you're thinking 3, right? This is the old ones, this is the old one right here. This has gotta be at least 3. What are you thinking?
Yeah, he's got a point. You could just simplify it, because right now we have 4 different applications, and 2 of them are just for
Residential.
residential variances, so you could just
Make those
them
2 the same.
Make them both 350 and call it a day,
Yeah.
instead of trying to
Okay. 350.
keep the commercial one, or commercial/industrial one higher, and then the appeal is separate.
Yeah, I would like to keep that one the same. I don't,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm not comfortable raising that one up. So keep this one the same.
Oh, you're saying keep that at
Well, this is the appeal of the CEO. I mean,
Which one?
appeal of the
That would be the
CEO.
first one I would raise.
This one?
Yeah.
If you're appealing.
Ask
you know
Fran,
that-
higher
Yeah,
is
it's at 3
better.
now. I mean, we're on par, we're not losing any money on it.
That's what you.
Right, but with that, with the CEO one, that means you did it before asking.
That was on the draft.
So
Why not make them all 350? As Carl says, it's just,
Just make it across the board the same.
we don't have to,
I don't
Are we?
I don't have a problem with that, but I think that whenever all the boards and commissions get together, I think there's a way to save money on this. We can always come
Are we
back, we
concerned
can look at
about?
it. Mm.
Are we concerned about an excessive number of commercial/industrials if it's only
Too low?
If it's too low,
I can't remember when the last time we had one for commercial or industrial.
I guess it would be the car wash, right?
Oh, yeah.
So I guess they
Yeah.
don't come that
Yeah.
often. We
Yeah,
could just
they
make it
usually
all the
beat their
same.
heads at zoning, right?
Self-storage.
we,
Yeah, well,
The
that's-
So
self-storage.
you wanna do
ones.
350 right down the line, Larry? You okay with that?
I just, commercial, and
Should be a little more.
should be a little more than a
So
residential.
maybe
Yeah,
4.
I agree with Larry.
So maybe do 4 in commercial industrial?
yeah.
why don't we 350? Why not just keep it at the recommended 500? Do you think that's too high?
No, I don't think so, not for a
No, I mean, commercial has.
I
What do you
think
think, sir?
500 is good.
Yeah.
for commercial property.
I'm okay with whatever you guys want to do.
3,335.
Because I think there's, in the future, whenever we do this, there is a way to save some money.
I mean, 350.
Yeah,
You
so,
wanna do, what do you think?
so do, like 350, 500 for commercial industrial,
Mhm.
and then 350 for, that way.
You
Every,
wanna
every,
raise that ZEO one, I wonder, we hardly ever get those. That's gonna give us, so 350, I'm good with that. All right, want me to read it out loud?
The Chick-fil-A, that was,
Yeah, yeah, Chick-fil-A.
you know, what comes
Okay. I'll read this out loud for the record if you want, make it easier. Okay, so type of application, alterations and additions to existing structure or construction of an outbuilding or swimming pool on a lot which contains an existing house. The prior was $150 and we're gonna raise it to $350. Construction of a house or other structure on vacant land in a residential zone. It was $200, we're gonna raise that to $350, and this is before the state of Connecticut fees. Application for variance for property located in commercial and industrial zones, to go from $300 to $500, plus the state fees. And application for appeal, no, I thought there wasn't a state fee on the appeal of the CEO. It says 60 here. I thought there wasn't. It says 60 here.
Your draft one said no.
Yeah, this other one I got says 60.
It doesn't matter.
There is,
Yeah.
yeah, it doesn't
It's
matter.
not our problem
Not
anyway.
our- yeah, that's
Application
the
for appeal from an order or decision of zoning commission or enforcement officer, that was 300, we're gonna raise it to 350. Like to make a motion?
Yeah, I'll motion the prices set or proposed by the chairman.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, that is unanimous. Okay, so this is as,
What's the effective date?
Oh, yeah.
well, the old effective date is 4/28/04, you wanna make it effective today?
July
What do you want?
July 1st, yeah, do July 1st.
Okay, as of 7,
It's way too late advertise.
Yeah.
1,
yeah.
2,
You've seen most opportunity.
you got it.
appeals before the price goes up.
All right. Last thing on discussion, boy, this one went quick. I just had something I was gonna bring up in the formal discussion for, I think I sent an email on, the HB 5002, which went fast through the House, and then lightning fast, it passed at 2 AM in the morning, Friday night going into Saturday in the Senate, like lightning fast, but at 2 AM in the morning. So I was gonna bring it up because I didn't, before that happened, I'm like, okay, maybe we can write it, you know, write it to our senator like we did that, we didn't even have time. So, and they approved it, so I was thinking we could at least write a letter to the governor, the Honorable Ned Lamont. You know, just not getting into any details or anything, just stating how we feel, if everybody feels this way and we oppose it, and send it to the governor, because that's it, it's going to him.
I'm in favor of that.
How do you feel, sir? This is the one,
Yeah, I know what it is. My problem is, I don't know the details sufficiently of Bill to comment on it.
Yeah.
I know some of the features, but I don't have a, you know, I haven't drilled into it.
I bet you, well, I mean, you could go over a few that are, I mean, I know a few of them, but
I mean,
you want
but-
more details on it?
It does take, well,
It's
some,
basically-
90-something pages, it is worth
Yeah,
reading.
I got up to like page 60, I'm not even done yet,
Yeah.
it's so long. But it's basically an incremental, slow takeover of local zoning.
Right.
Yeah,
Could always encourage, if commissioners feel strongly about it, they could always individually.
yeah, we can individually write it,
Yep.
or
No, I-
write one quick letter and all, do it
Yeah.
like last time.
I'm not comfortable in a group session.
Okay.
I'm not privy to all of the facts to make a decision at this table right now.
All right, let's
That's
do it
fair enough.
individually.
Yeah,
If you feel like you wanna do it,
it
do
was
it.
just an informal discussion.
And the last time we did something like this.
January
it was-
23.
It was a bill specific to the ZBA.
Yeah.
This one is more about.
General
housing
zoning and housing, and housing and
So it's-
multifamily and commercial zone,
Yeah,
there's a
so
variety, a
it's
bunch of
a
stuff.
bit of a.
I mean, I don't know the details. I think, in broad terms, I imagine that, and I don't think this is true of Brookfield, but again, I can't speak to authoritatively, but I think there are towns that clearly resist affordable housing and work against it. And I think
Yeah, we're doing pretty doggone good. Aren't we at 5.2 or 5.4, Fran?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think, but the problem is this is a state bill, and it's, again, I don't know, but I imagine it's directed toward places like, retaining, but I think they fight things like this, so it requires state intervention. They're gonna have
It's actually more directed to towns like us.
Really?
Because they want you to put in public transportation for everybody.
Oh,
They
well,
want high-rise buildings in there.
Typically in a zoning situation, though, what the builder or the developer is trying to do is do a project.
Right,
The town or the ZBA doesn't want that project, and
Right.
he says, fine, if you do that, then I'm gonna do affordable housing, watch this.
right.
You had 4 units, now I'm gonna do 40 units.
Yeah. You're
So,
right, that does happen.
That's really
but-
that's what that's
Well,
all
that's
about,
not,
again.
well, that's the practical application of the problem, absolutely right, 100%. What they're trying to do in Hartford, though, is they're trying to move the cities out into the suburbs. And they want to move they want public transportation here, and they want the town to pay for it.
Fran, quick question. I understand it, I know Mr. Dombrowski has the exact number, but we are at 5.2 to 5.5, I think on the 832.
We're on the 5.2, yeah.
Yeah, 5.2-ish, which is actually, and the goal is 10, right?
Yep.
The goal is 10. We're actually, like, I looked at the numbers compared to other
We
towns. I
do
said,
very well compared
We're
to
doing
most of
really
the,
well.
Right.
Western counties.
Well, that's my impression.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
the
are.
big problem we
We're
have
doing
is
really well.
is the sanitary septic. We don't have,
After 2 moratoriums, you can't go past
we don't
that.
have sewers,
Well,
so it makes it really hard.
Yeah, there was one thing that was in the new bill that, certain things, forget, I gotta read that one again, on how you can do moratoriums or something in the new bill.
I didn't get through the whole thing, but.
Yeah, it's too many pages, I didn't get through the whole thing.
Yeah, but it's worth everybody taking a read, see if you want to write to Ned.
Yeah.
You know, one thing I didn't understand for people that like statistics is I looked at the US Census Bureau statistics for Connecticut the last 10 years, actually past 10 years. And 6 out of those 10 years, our population growth actually kind of went down.
Yes.
The highest growth years we had were COVID, 20, 21, a little bit in 22, but then it's kind of heading south a little bit. So I'm like, why are they doing all this? Because the population growth is technically kind of.
Yeah, but the problem
We
is.
haven't, are you ready for this? We haven't hit 1% growth since 1970.
Affordability
That was
housing
a
though has
statistic.
gone.
We're
has
throwing
gone-
a lot of jello at
Yeah,
trees right
yeah.
now,
No, I
hoping
know.
it sticks, so.
I know, I got you. That's it, that's my informal discussion. All right, would you like to make, anybody have any informal discussion?
Motion to adjourn.
Do I have a second? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye.